Okay, you guys, just showing you how to set up this Venn diagram. So you only need to pick two topics. I could pick either coffee and dogs, coffee or cats, tea and dogs, or tea and cats. So I only want to pick two of these because that's all we're comparing in our Venn diagram here. We're comparing two objects, two questions that we asked. So I did a coffee and dogs. Now let me delete these numbers here so you can see where I get them from. Yep. Okay, so if I choose coffee, I'm going to put coffee here. If I choose dogs, I'm going to put dogs here. So coffee, how many people total like coffee? Well, 14, but I want people who just like coffee, not coffee and dogs. So I got to subtract 11 from my 14. So that's where I get the number 3. Okay, now I want to know how many people like dogs. Oh, let me see if I can move the word dogs. There we go. How many people like dogs? Well, we had a total of 28 like dogs, but I want just those who like dogs and not coffee. And I just want the total who just like dogs without also liking coffee. So 28 minus 11 will give me 17. Now I need to put their crossover here. How many liked coffee and dogs? Well, if we look up here, dogs and coffee is 11. So that number 11 goes here. So when I add 3 and 11 together, it should add up to 14 because that's my total who like coffee. And when I add 17 plus 11, that should be my total of how many like dogs, and that's 28. So it worked. Now out here goes how many of those did not like coffee and did not like dogs, the total who did not like coffee or dogs. So I'm going to take 33 and I minus out my, let me make sure that this works. I'm going to take 33 and I'm going to minus 3 out, 17 and 11 all out of that. 17, 3, and 11. That leaves me with 2. I have a total of 2 people now who did not either like coffee or dogs. And then that should be your answer. So I did 33. Again, I did my total here, my total 33 minus 17 minus 11 minus 3. And that's how I got 2 out here. If you have any more questions on this, feel free to ask. And again, these totals, coffee 3 came from my total amount of coffee, subtract my total who like coffee and dogs, because that number needs to go right here. I guess a better way to explain this was to put the total of how many like coffee and dogs in this little section right here. This is my crossover. Now, but we had a total people liking 14 coffee. Total people who like coffee is 14. So what needs to go out here to make these two equal 14 is a 3. Same thing over here. Total people, a number who like dogs is 28. So what can I add to 11 to equal 28 is 17. Now I just take my total, 33, and minus 17 minus 11 minus 3, and that's my number left over here. I hope that helps.